Proverbs 29:27 says, "An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked." So listen, there are people out there who are following God's law, and there are people out there who are following the devil's law. They're going in opposite directions. I don't care how much diplomacy you try to throw at it. If you put these two people in the same area, they will not get along. So let's just get rid of this fiction that if we can all just hold hands, we can all get along. No, there is no uniting certain people. Now, people on the left, people who like to follow the devil's agenda, like to take whatever part of the devil's agenda that they're trying to push, and if you believe in the Bible and you disagree with it, they will take that same label and put phobic at the end to try to make you look like the bad guy. For example, if you preach what the Bible says, that homosexuality is an abomination and that marriage is between one man and one woman and that there's only two genders, they'll say, you're a homophobe, you're homophobic, you're transphobic. They like to act like the word phobic is somehow bad. It's not wrong to be against something, especially if that thing itself is evil. So in light of that, I figured we'd play their game for a second. You know why? Because language is my specialty. So I've come up with a list of 8 phobias that exist on the left. So let's get started. They want to call us phobic. I got some choice words for them. Let's start off. They are pedophobic. Now, what do I mean by pedophobic? Well, the word pedo or pedo has to do with children. That's why if you notice, a pediatrician is a doctor that deals with children. So a pedophobe is someone who has an irrational fear of children. That's looking at you leftist abortionist people who want mothers to chop up their children in the womb. You're a pedophobe. You hate babies. You're a pedophobe. So you want to attack people for wanting to protect the sanctity of life? I got news for you. You're a filthy, stinking pedophobe. Now the next phobia is androphobic. That's looking at you feminists out there who hate men, who believe that society is best served when men walk around apologizing for the fact that they have a Y chromosome, walk around just as scared little sheep, and where women just walk around cracking the whip and controlling all the men. You're an androphobe. The word andro has to do with men because, there's hormones in the body called androgens that have to deal with male hormones. Well, guess what? You're androphobe. You hate men. The next one is archaeophobic. Archaeo has to do with that which is old. Like an archaeologist studies species that are so old they're now extinct, they're now dead. Or you think about if something is archaic, that means it's the way they used to do things. It's the old way. Well, you know what? There are people on the left who think that anything that is the old way of doing things, for example, the traditional family, it's one man, one woman, and their children, the traditional gender roles, they think that all of that is just so evil. They're obsessed with progress, with going into the future, basically turning our society into an amoral mud hole. Well, guess what? You're an archaeophobe. You're afraid of tradition. You're afraid of things in the past that were good. The next thing is heterophobic. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Moving on. The next one, Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." Jesus said he is the truth. Jesus is the only way to heaven. But there are people out there who hate Jesus. They hate anything that has to do with the Bible. You don't want to bake the cake for their nasty, disgusting, abomination wedding. They want you in jail. As a matter of fact, there's some that'll go so far as to say they want you dead. Well, guess what? You know what? You're a verophobic. Verophobic. Now, what do I mean by vera? Vera is a Latin root that has to do with truth. Like if you verify something, you determine whether or not it's true. When Jesus says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you," the word verily means truly. So you're a verophobe. You're afraid of the truth. If somebody comes out and says there is only 2 genders and that you're either X and Y or X and X, you're either a male or a female, that's not true. What about my identity? You're a verophobe. You hate the truth. You want people to protect your lie. You want your lie to be the most popular thing. You're a verophobic. Now let's move on to the next thing. There are people out there who like to act like all white people are evil and that all minorities are inherently innocent. You know what you are? You're Europhobic. You want white people to walk around feeling guilty. You want white people to walk around feeling like they're just the scum of the earth and that you just need to lift up minorities. You know what? You're a Europhobic because you're afraid of Europeans. You don't want white people having families and children. You want them exterminated because you have some sort of sick leftist vision of the world that subjugates white people. And you know what? That is just as bad. as wanting to subjugate black people through slavery. Both are equally evil. I would not trust the racist leftist that wants to exterminate white people, and at the same time, I would not trust the racist that wants to exterminate black people. They are both equally evil. The next thing is parlophobic. Now, parla has to do with speech, because the word parlance means language or what you're saying. You've ever heard the phrase common parlance? Or the French root parler, which means to talk. So a parlophobic is afraid of free speech. You hate the fact that there are people out there that disagree with you that have freedom of speech. You want to violently attack those who challenge your stupid, satanic, leftist values. You're parlophobic. You only want the speech that agrees with your agenda to be tolerated. You know what? I think free speech is awesome, because if I see somebody walking down the street, and I have seen things like this before, if I see someone walking down the street with satanic tattoos and with whatever racist insignia on them, if I see that, I know what kind of person I'm dealing with. So I can go into the situation knowing that I should probably avoid that person. So free speech saves lives. Free speech saves you the trouble of dealing with somebody that you shouldn't be dealing with. And now the last thing. This is the real disease that you leftists suffer from. Deophobia. Deo has to do with the root word for God. Phobia, irrational fear. You're a deophobic. You hate God at the end of the day. You're a Christophobic. You hate Jesus. So if anybody wants to talk about phobias, you want to say, oh, well, you're so homophobic. You're so transphobic. Well, you know what? An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. You guys are sick in the head. You guys have this. Take care, everybody.